on this national platform and you said you didn't know anything about a foundation. But you forget that I was in certain rooms when certain things happened. And the reason I don't support you is because you were not honest about that foundation. I was in the room when it started.
Well, right now, we keep on business. If you want to have this little cat fight, hold on, you out of order. If you want to have this little cat fight, we can handle this back there. Right now, that's how we're business, the agenda.
The super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, did not want to have that special meeting yesterday, but she did, and then she finally got exposed by Trustee Carlisle for that Henyard Cares Foundation, that charity that has been under a lot of scrutiny. Many people think it's a scam, and Trustee Carlisle had a lot to say about that. Let's get into it. So this was just your usual Thornton Township meeting. A lot of back and forths between the trustees and the super mayor, the supervisor, Tiffany Henyard. There was a lot of discussions regarding the payment of bills and financial transparency. Several trustees expressed concerns over the process of approving payments without efficient documentation or information, which led to a lot of debates over the necessity in receiving invoices before making financial decisions. Trustee Jones, Carlisle, and Gonzalez highlighted the importance of having clear communication and documentation to avoid any misunderstandings or financial discrepancies. But like I said, Tiffany Henyard did not want this special meeting. She thought it was a waste of time. And during the meeting, she does her usual stuff, being extremely defensive. The supervisor frequently adopted a defensive tone when responding to questions or any kind of criticism, especially regarding the township's financial management and transparency. She was determined to defend her administration's actions and decisions, often pushing back against any accusation or any concerns raised by trustees. And this defensiveness was clearly apparent in her insistence that the township's processes were followed correctly. And any issues is not her fault. It's not her administration's fault. It's everyone else's fault. Henyard was extremely frustrated as well during this meeting, particularly when any discussions became repetitive or focused on issues that she believed have already been resolved and issues that she didn't want to talk about. She seemed annoyed at the board for rehashing matters she felt was unnecessary and unimportant, which added to the tension during the meeting. The biggest highlight of this meeting was talking about the Tiffany Cares Foundation. If you're not familiar with that, here's a little bit of information all about it.
There's a foundation that's not registered, but it has nothing to do with you.
Correct. That's true.
Okay.
That's
so you're not aware of any of the work that they've done, money that they've raised, anything along those lines?
Correct.
I want to say thank you guys for having us today and letting us speak before you. I want to say good afternoon and thank you to Chairman Zadalinsky. Did I get it right? And Vice Chair Tavert and Republican spokesperson Reich, and the committee members. I want to thank you for just listening to us. Before I begin my one-page speech, I want to let you guys know that we did just come back from an 11-day hike to Springfield. We started in Dalton and we walked and we rode bikes all the way to Springfield just to create this bill that you see before you. I'm asking for your support.
Meanwhile, WGN Investigates has learned nearly all of the money a South Suburban politician's cancer charity claims to have received in its first few months of activity came from taxpayers. The Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation was created in the fall of 2022 and heavily promoted by Henyard. The township board she oversees gave the foundation $10,000 days after its creation. A new filing with the Illinois Attorney General says the foundation only raised $3,000 additional dollars. Thousands more dollars were charged to township credit cards during the charity's walk to Springfield. The Attorney General has ordered the foundation to stop soliciting money because it still hasn't submitted tax filings to show how it spent money.
Why are there so much issue with the foundation? Well, the first thing, it seems like it's a lot of misuse in public resources, public employees and resources for personal or foundational related activities, especially when it's funded by taxpayers, is unethical and illegal. $10,000 coming from the township going into her Cares Foundation. This is a charity. That shouldn't be there. I have no idea what's going on. Remember, she told that to Roland. She told that to Angela Lee. I'm just a face, or I don't know. People just put things in my name and I just run with it. Like, none of that made any sense. And we can back that up with a lot of information. This poorly worded message saying I will be testifying before the Revenue Committee. A bill I created. She can't sign a bill, so she doesn't know what she's talking about. She has a good burger business. She changed the name of the Facebook to go to Tiffany Henyard Foundation. So let's listen to her testifying from this committee talking about the foundation.
In September of this year, I founded the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, a non-for-profit organization whose mission is to find meaningful relief for people dealing with all types of cancer. Our goal is to provide resources and services for cancer patients as they fight for their lives, whether it's wigs, prosthetics, or treatments, reduction of prescription drugs for options, support groups, or utility assistance. That is our focus. The Cancer Foundation supports everyone. The legislation supports our efforts. I am here before you as a representative of the people of Dalton and Township.
Okay, so this is the back and forth between Trustee Carlisle and Tiffany Henyard. Carlisle expressed concerns, as the usual stuff, township financial procedures, particularly with the lack of transparency and the difficulty in obtaining necessary financial documentation. The supervisor responds being defensive, stating that the town's financial processes are being followed properly, and she denies any deliberate withholding information and suggests that any delays in communication were not intentional. She gets more and more frustrated on the ongoing questioning of the township's processes. Even though she's running the entire show, she's the head of the administration, she's going to have to take these kind of questions and these kind of concerns. But here where the conversation gets more heated.
I know that you're not able to always send things without approval from administration. So I know sometimes you've been advised, just because I emailed you about something else and you sent it to me right to the question in my answer, and he was supposed to therefore email it to me. I never got the response to that question. So again, we can't get information directly from the finance department because you've been directed not to provide us with information directly. And I have an email.
So let me make that crystal clear. At the last meeting, I told you guys that Key Price is a contact. So if you guys have questions, concerns, or want to sit down with anybody, that is your go-to person. What's any different when it was Key Free? It's no different. So if you guys have questions, please talk to Key Price.
Again,
Price will answer any question that you have.
Finance director, so he can't answer finance. We have a finance director for that. If I ask finance questions, that should come from the finance director.
Trust me,
Not Key Price.
you should forward your questions to Key Price. So if you got a question for him, then you can get that. Hold on. I'm telling you how we go like this easy. So if you got a question again, for the record, to everybody out like it ain't crystal clear, reach out to Key Price to get your answers. If you have a question, reach out to Key Price. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. Don't come to a meeting acting like no one's giving you anything. When again, you have made 12 to 15 meetings, right? And then show up to not one with staff. Now let's be crystal on that. With Robert Hunt, you made meetings with Key Price, you made meetings with, and every department head in here, and you didn't show up to not one. So stop telling lies, please.
And the question is, you walk around as if you don't do anything, you don't make any decisions. And the first time I ever really questioned supporting this is when you went on this national platform and you said you didn't know anything about a foundation. But you forget that I was in certain rooms when certain things happened. And again, I always try to be tactful because again, I don't like going back and forth. I don't like being center of attention. I don't like all this. But I don't like to feel like I'm being lied on. I don't like to feel like we're not telling the truth. And the reason I don't support you is because you were not honest about that foundation. I was in the room when it started, and then you came to my house after that unannounced and tried to get me to say somebody else started that foundation that did it. And so again, and I'm saying again, so you're trying to say anything about me not supporting for somebody else. I don't support you because of you. I don't support you because again, you act like you don't make decisions. You make every decision. And maybe you didn't execute it, but I was there. I was your assistant for 2 years. So you sit up here week after week, you sit up here month after month and pretended. And I've been kind to you, I've been patient, and I'm gonna continue to be that way. But for you to get up here and say, I'm not supporting you any other reason because of you, it's wrong because I don't support you because of you. Not for Keep Freedom, not for anybody else. I don't support you because you're not honest. You're not honest.
At the end of the day, and that's exactly what you just did. I'm not gonna take the bait because I can say so much stuff and just furnish you right now. But I'm not gonna treat you that way. At the end of the day, the truth will be the truth and the truth will come out. So you get here and say that people said this, did this, you know what it is. You know exactly who did what. And I hate that people hold your lips like this and you get up here and you act like a whole different person. It saddens my heart to just see act the way you're acting right now. But right now, we here on business. If you wanna have this little cat fight, hold on, you out of order. If you wanna have this little cat fight, we can handle this back there. Right now, let's handle the business, it's the agenda.
Trustee Carlisle accuses Henyard of providing misleading information regarding that foundation and other financial matters. Henyard has tried to separate herself from this foundation for, at this point, months and even a year, saying that she had nothing to do with the foundation, where there's evidence of the contrary. As she loses control of this board, people are finally telling the truth, that that foundation was a sham to begin with, and Henyard was responsible for it. She tried to push this foundation, probably try to help her image, but she used taxpayer dollars to fund the foundation. The supermayor is losing control, and people are jumping ship. At one point, she had a rubber stamp vote when it came to the Dorton Township. And now trustees are stepping up and pointing out the things that she is doing wrong, and Henyard is getting more and more stressed out, and she's getting more and more frustrated.
I don't trust the process, so I have to ask questions. Before it worked in that season where I didn't ask anything, that worked. But moving forward, it's not working, so I have to ask questions, and I have to make sure I understand what I'm saying, yes, and that's my job. Maybe I didn't do a great job before, but now moving forward, I am going to do a better job at asking questions and make sure I know what's going on in Morris Township, because it's not just my job to do that. That's why I didn't say anything, and that's why I'm moving forward.
Okay, so
The feds are here, people are getting indicted, and people need to figure out what is more important, staying loyal to the supermayor or finally telling the truth. Some of these former supporters, they decided to separate themselves and tell the truth. Henyard is too incompetent to run these organizations. It's really as simple as that. She has done some unethical, and it looks like, and we'll see from the feds, illegal practices that is destroying both the township and the village of Dalton. But what do you guys think about the meeting? Let me know if you watched it. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.